I'm not going to say much. All I'm going to do is show you my scalp therapy. Now I have olive oil on my head right now. Okay, I brushed it in with the brush. I dip the brush in the olive oil and then brush it through my hair. Okay. Now this is a new type of vibrator that I spotted on Amazon for reflexology, because you can put this on any reflexology point, especially on the end of your nose. You put it on the end of your nose very lightly, and your whole face vibrates. Your sinuses open up where you can breathe right in and out through your nose, especially if you have stuffed sinuses all the time, like up northeast. A lot of people have allergies and they get stuffed up. My mother had to leave this area and go to California because she had 17 different allergies because it's so green around here. You know, we're up in middle of New York, Pennsylvania, that area. I'm in the Twilight Zone. Rod Sterling was born here. In fact, we were probably born in the same bed because he was, I think, born at Binghamton General Hospital or something. Way back. Rod Sterling, he's the Twilight Zone. He has, and that's what I am. I live in the Twilight Zone. Have lived here. I built a house. Everything. I got a Hermitage now. It's called the Shadow of the Rosary Hermitage. And it's been here since 1988. So I'm established. I built it with my own hands. I dug the foundation out with a pick, a shovel, and a wheelbarrow. Everybody's confused in the neighborhood. They're all saying, "What's he doing over there?" I don't have you don't have to get a permit to dig a hole in your backyard, So I dug a great big hole in my backyard, and all the neighbors are going, "What's he doing over there? Is he gonna bury something or what? What is he digging that big hole for?" So one guy got the kahunas to come down and tell me, "What are you doing back there? Everybody wants to know. Why are you digging this big hole?" I said, "I'm going to build a house here." He goes, "I don't see no house. You're not going to build a house here." He had several teenage boys, and that he give them that negative challenge. You know what I mean? "Oh yeah, you're going to see a house here." Yeah, and he got me thinking that way too. Well, you keep watching. There's going to be a house here, and that's the way it went. A neighbor. Now he's dead and gone now, but he was older than I. He had boys half my age, I was only about 30, so his boys were 15 or so, 15, 16. Which that was back 1980. I've been here on this property since 1980. I lived in trailers, and the trailer I lived in was 40 feet long and had these, like my sunglasses, right, humped up a little bit on the top of the trailer, where they looked like they were some type of a orbs staring into space, In fact, I had a person stop one time and ask me, he says, "What are those two things on the top of your trailer? Are you in communication with outer space or something?" I laughed, because I was living in a little teeny trailer for 8 years, saving my money. Oh, boy. So my wife and I, but it had a big screened awning, 40-foot long, 12-foot wide. It was nice, in the summertime, spring. Even in the winter, you can go out there, sit on a nice day. And there was a trailer next to me, too. And she took care of the lady that I bought the trailer on I was in. She was in a nursing home. The people that I bought the trailer from when I first moved here, she was in a nursing home, and I didn't have any money. I said, I'll give you. They wanted $10,000 for the property. And I said, I'll tell you what, I'll give you $250 down, and I'll give you $2,500 a month. $2,500 a month for until it's paid off. And well, not 20. Well, it was all at the end of the year. I would have paid the $10,000. So they took the deal. Can't remember how it went because it's been so long. 1980. And what is it now? That's been 40, 50 years. I forgot how everything happened. So I lived in these trailers for about 6 years and so. And, I was starting to get embarrassed too, because I had a nice job. I was a school teacher and everything, and I had all my staff over one time at my place for a party outdoors, and they all had to use the one little bathroom in my trailer. I got everybody feeling sorry for me. But anyways, I had already built a stick house that I wanted to build, and this is a duplicate of it that I built. I'm going to take some pictures. I'm going to have them posted too in the future. But that was my beginnings here. I didn't want to build a house. I didn't want to be stuck in this area. I was born in this area. Everybody knew me before I went to college. I was a teenage maniac. I did everything when I was a teenager. Because I don't know how many teenagers do everything, but I did. And I have memories about it, which I shiver at. Oh, I did that. Oh, God, why did I do that? Those type of recalls. But God says, come and pray and hope and don't worry. That's what Padre Pio theme is. Pray, hope, and don't worry. Well, how do we hope? You pray, hope. I hope there's a God. I've never seen God. But everything around me is because of God. So can I see God by everything around me? But I'm just a pea brain compared to the watermelon brain of God. How can I fit God's brain, watermelon brain, into my pea brain? Because God's brain is as big as a watermelon, and my brain is as big as a pea. So how can I put God's brain into my brain? How do you like that for some poetry? It's original, too. That was given to me by AI. I said to them, the knowledge they got, and here I am up against them, showing them where they're wrong. And they're acknowledging it. They're saying thank you, and this and that, right? But I says, I don't have the resources like you do. You're like a watermelon brain. And I say, well, how can I fit a watermelon brain into my pea brain? So you are a source. And all I have to do is push a button, and I got a watermelon brain just about. Push a button, ask a question, and wham, there's the answer. If it's the right answer, or the proper answer, or the updated answer, that's for you to discern. or get hoodwinked by. I get hoodwinked. One time with AI, I was arguing with him. He says, Pope Leo, right? And he says, there is no Pope Leo. There's only Pope Francis. And he's in office right now. This is AI telling me this. And I says, well, where do you get your information from? Well, it's not public. It's I don't recognize it that Pope Francis right now is the Pope. And I says, he died. I told AI this. He's dead. It's Pope Leo now. And he goes, no, it isn't. Francis is alive. Telling me that. So I says, well, you better update your resource. Update them. Go check it out. Pope Francis died. Put that in some AI generator that you got down here. I don't know. Oh, man. We're up against pea brains are up against watermelon brains, because that AI has just a wealth of knowledge. You just have to talk to it and boom, you got the answer. But is it the right answer? Sometimes they're programmed, I think, not to respond to the younger generation like me. They can't lie to me. I lived it where I'm questioning. Like I questioned the guy who invented the engine that ran on H2O. All right, I questioned that, and they said that was just a hoax and stuff. And I says, oh man, why? Because he went to the oil people's convention, and they were congratulating him for inventing an engine that ran on water, which was going to put all the oil people out of business. Yep, this is a story now. It's true what happened to this guy. But I'm injecting some of the thoughts that it generates. So here's a man that invented an H2O engine, and the oil people are saying, oh, you delivered man from pollution. Oh, let's have a toast to this man. And they have a big banquet, and they invite him, and he comes with his brother and all that stuff, and they're sitting at the table, and they bring the toast out, and he toasts. And he grabs his throat and runs for the door, and his brother's chasing him. What's the matter? What's the matter? He turns around, falls dead in his brother's arms. Dead. So you analyze what happened. You take it from there. AI won't even comment on something like that. But they'll tell you the guy's name. The man who invented the H2O engine. But they're calling it a hoax. Now, how's that been programmed? By the oil influences? Because oil is going to be antiquated here, people. Want to know why? Because we're harnessing the energy of the universe with gravity. Gravitational pull. Anti-gravitational pull engines. There are engines on right now that you can pull a string on them, like you do a lawnmower, to start them to spin, and then the magnetic power that it generates keeps it spinning. And it puts out 230 amps, enough to run a household. You could have one of those down in your cellar. All you have to do is maybe ride your bike in the morning, and start it up. Get it rolling, Because once it starts rolling, you have to stop it. And because it will generate electric, and if what you don't use goes back into the grid, the electric company's got to send you a check every month instead of you sending them a check every month and put them out of business. So that's why it isn't the big money is keeping it out of people's homes. Because we'll ruin the economy. The electrical system will be putting out money. They're trying to take it in. Who's the stockholders and all that stuff? What are they going to think, And then there's some good stockholders and not so good stockholders. What are the not so good stockholders going to start thinking? Who's this guy? Trying to put me out of business? Hey, get the boys, take care of them. There you go. So, that's the way life is, people. I saw it happen. I saw a multimillionaire had a big car dealership. And all the movie stars were coming, and he'd give them cars to drive around and tell everybody about his business and everything. And all the movie stars were behind him. Oh, they were kissing butt. They were kissing butt. I went there as a boxer. He had me. I was going to be a fighter. I was an amateur, and I was Golden Gloves champion and all that stuff. I was running. My brother Mike was rated number 5 in the world. And as a professional, I was only amateur. And I was 2 years older than him. And he was only 18. I was 20, 21, something like that, man. But this guy, his name was Weiss. Vic Weiss, his name was. He owned a big car dealership. And what happened to him? They found him in his Lincoln Continental with 2 bullets in his head. That's how he died. He owned a great big business, man, and influence and everything, and the people came in, took it over, took him out. Just took it over. Big, huge, giant people with money. Say, oh, here's a good business. Let's go in and take that one over. That's what they did. So that's how I saw it back then. I mean, it's been over 50 years, 55 years. This is no longer in existence, but this is the way it was back then. They used to sell. My mother's mother was sold to my grandfather from an aristocrat that had a sideline family. Because aristocrats in France and stuff, they couldn't marry peasants. So my great, whatever it was a mistress to royalty. And their children, he sold the women to men overseas. And that's where what happened to my grandmother on my mother's side. She was a beautiful singer. Oh, she could sing like an angel. And my mother could sing like an angel. Her voice is, oh man, it's piercing. It's like, my mother has a beautiful voice. I don't know if she still sings and stuff, but man, her vibrato is natural. She had black hair, long black hair with a white streak like my hair is right now. A white streak going right down it, natural. People get, you get birds, that have different colorings and stuff like that. They're born, if you breed them with other types of birds, and their colors change and everything. Well, that's what happened to me. I come from Sicilian background, and my Sicilian background is Arab, because they owned Sicily from 900 to 1100 AD, and I would think I was Muslim too, because if you weren't Muslim, you got your head chopped off, or they put up with you somehow too. So I don't know. I was still around, so I don't know. I'm a bastard. I'm a bastard of royalty. And the royalty comes down from Mary of Magdalene. She came into northern Frank, which is now called France, and married into royalty. They allowed it. She wasn't considered a peasant. She was considered in the crucifixion. So she was royalty because they were all Christian Jews. That's the way the story goes. I'm just passing it on like it was passed on to me. Somebody's going, oh, we can investigate that, and this is a bunch of bull. No, I'm sorry. There's oral tradition and there's written tradition. My oral tradition surpasses the written because you can only go back about 5 generations. I'm talking about 2,000 years ago. You can't trace anything about me 2,000 years ago. But DNA, maybe. So, and DNA isn't always full blood. You know, like my brothers and sisters. If I have Chinese in me, I have the DA Chinese or whatever it is in me. Because I work with Chinese people, and they looked my features over and everything. And they said, I don't know, they go, are you Chinese? I says, why? He says, why your eyes? Your eyes are so slanted and everything. It looks like you're Chinese. And I says, you know, I'm Sicilian. And Sicily was taken over, and it was a port. And all the Chinese people would stop there. Horny Chinese people. Horny little men. And they would have their favorite place to go to spend their gold. All gold was accepted. They weren't prejudiced. And here I am, maybe. Okay? So I call myself an Americanese. Because I have so many different things. I have Arab in me. I was a Muslim, Arab Muslim heritage. And I am a Sicilian. I have Italy, Italian. I am the mulatto of the Italiano. That's what Sicilians were called because we were so dark-skinned. But I've lightened up because my mother married an Irishman. And I got white, I got my eyes. Well, I've got a video. I got to make a video to where I can show you the colors of my eyes. And I can't get them open. I could probably do it. I'm not going to go through that. That's nincompoopsy. I'm only a nincompoop once in a while. I got the hypnic jerk syndrome from long COVID. Oh man, I'm telling you, it's you could be doing something, and then all of a sudden you go, you kind of like look like you're on heroin or something. You nod out, like this. Then you come back. That's the hypnic jerk from long COVID. People got it. I have it.